I get the sense that even if you weren't spiritual, even if you weren't religious, you were still connected to spirit. You have like faith for some reason because you've been through so much. Hello, I am Luna, and I'd like to welcome you to My Little Shop of Spirit. In today's reading, we are addressing someone who is very nurturing, balanced, harmonious, and open to communication. That is the energy of the reading today. So let's jump into the cards a little bit and see what they have to say for you. So I'm getting that you are currently gracefully flying. There's a playful energy about you, and you look extra beautiful at the moment. That is coming through. And there's an additional confirmation of balance, if I didn't say that earlier, that this reading has a very balanced energy. So an additional confirmation came out about that. And the reason that that may be important to those who are here is because it seems like in the past, recently, there was an unbalanced energy and sort of an aggressive well, I pulled this shark charm. I don't know if it'll focus here. And it's like an aggressive ravenous energy. So it's like you're coming out of that into this balanced, harmonious energy. That's why that may be extra important for you. Let's pull some cards though to see what's going on here. So it looks like in the past, this scenario, I feel like this is dealing with a domestic energy, so a relationship, a partnership, two people, maybe two people with a third party scenario at one point, and I'm getting the third party scenario may have been a distant scenario, but it's like, when it wasn't resolved, then it never really got resolved. So it's like it kind of just sort of tailed, it was on the blood trail like a shark until it got up to now in time. And then, so it created some conflict when it came up. The shark got ravenous when it got up to like the side of the blood. So once you guys did address whatever this third party issue was, and it looks like when that situation was addressed, the reason there was this feeling of coldness is because it looks like one of the parties really took to defending themselves while another was just interested in just walking away from the scenario. And after that happened, that's when really the only movement that came out of addressing that third party scenario was really kind of in walking away from this situation where one person was sort of pushed into the mud by the other defending themselves. I mean, I wish I was recording that, y'all, because this flew out like immediately. Okay, in regards to the situation, like there is justice to the scenario. But we have the moon right on the bottom of the deck there. So I feel like the justice, and right underneath that, heartbreak. So I feel like the justice has been a long, I'm hearing long leading. So it's almost like you followed this long trail somewhere. And I'm hearing yellow brick road. Like, I just feel like you followed spirit through this scenario. Like, it almost seems like there was no way out at some point, and you're like looking up to the moon, looking up to like divine sources and like barking at the moon, crying out, begging for answers, I think. Because something was sort of at your ankles and, but I think you knew the whole time that you were being, in some celestial sense, watched over. Because, I don't know, why, but you had faith. And when I asked that, okay, we get death. So maybe you've been through so much in your life. You couldn't help but inherently believe, even if you've never been religious, never been spiritual, okay? You don't have to be spiritual to be tapped into your soul, okay? Way before I was like into any spiritual practice, I had very many like beliefs that had no practice attached to them, no ritual attached to them. So but I just had a lot of life experience that connected me to those, those puddles of awareness, so I get the sense that even if you weren't spiritual, even if you weren't religious, you were still connected to spirit. You have like faith for some reason because you've been through so much. So let's see. In regards to what you need to know about this situation right now, you are being seen as the Empress. Okay, and hopefully you are seeing yourself in this light, but Spirit is seeing you in this light, and those around you are also seeing you in this light. So hopefully you are also seeing yourself this way. At this point, I would hope that you would, but that doesn't mean you that doesn't mean you will. But hopefully you are, okay? The circumstances here have pushed you, hopefully, into a self-awareness about your worth, what you have to offer, your value, your sustenance, okay? Because you're like a life force, and you give life to things, okay? And I feel like that was taken for granted. And externally to you, and perhaps because of that, like internally you didn't like acknowledge it, but you've come into it. You're sitting comfortably in, and you should be. If you aren't acknowledging it, you should be by now, that you have value inherently. And you have stability to offer as well. I think for a long time, stability is something you looked for outside of yourself, and now you're realizing like you have your own throne to sit on. So I want to leave your messages off there for today. If that was helpful, don't forget to leave a like and your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe so I can see you again. Bye.